Today, I'm sitting next to an incredible young woman. Malvika Iyer was just 13 years old when she survived a bomb blast in Bikaner, Rajasthan, India. She lost both her hands and severely damaged her legs with nerve paralysis. But despite the uncertainty of the future and tremendous pain, both physical and emotional, Malvika has proved that she has a strong will and unbreakable determination. She is now a global motivational speaker and disability rights activist. Her story is simply inspirational. Malvika, welcome to our show today. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. I would like to go back to your childhood and talk about the vibrant young girl that you were and, of course, still are. But tell us about your personality. I know you were into everything from sports to dance, Kathak, music. Tell us about what you were like as a kid.
I had a very amazing childhood. Like you said, I was interested in a lot of things. I think except academics, I was interested in everything, extracurriculars. And my mother, she's a classical singer, so she wanted, music and dance run in our family. So my sister and I, we learned Kathak for about 7-8 years. And I think dance is in my blood, and it just came naturally to me. Other than that, I was also very tomboyish. I had a lot of friends with whom we would run around, fly kites, climb trees, run around the terrace. So, it was a mix of both very feminine and very mean, like a mix of, every activity that you could possibly think of.
So, Malvika, I'd like to go back to that difficult day. It was a hot day in May, I believe, 2002.
Yeah.
In Bikaner, Rajasthan. It was, I think, a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Nice, warm Sunday afternoon. Your parents had some friends over. It was business as usual.
I'll take you back to my interest in crafting. So craft is something, I loved making creative things out of waste, or just, jazzing up my clothes with beads or anything of that sort. So my accident also has a connection to that. My jeans had torn, and I was trying to jazz up my jeans, and I wanted to stick a pocket to it, and I was looking for something heavy to hit. And
so you were sticking another pocket on top of the pocket that you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was looking for something heavy to hit, and I looked around my room. I couldn't find. I was actually looking for a hammer, and I didn't find the hammer around the house. My mom was outside. She was filling water in the water cooler, and my dad had friends over. My sister was in the kitchen making tea, and I then rummaged around my shelf, cupboard. I couldn't find anything, so I went to the garage, and I found what looked to me like a miniature version of, say, an oxygen cylinder. It was a very small piece. I didn't really know what it was, but it seemed it was made of steel, so I thought that, and it was hollow from inside.
So you were looking to that to press on your jeans so
that
it will stick down.
Stick
the
it.
pocket
So
down.
I thought, okay, this would do, and then I just went around. Interestingly, my mom had just she was noticing that I was doing something, and she had crossed my room, and then she peeked, and then she said that, when are you going to grow up, you're so naughty. So this was, I think, minutes before the incident, and I went around my business, and I hit it. It didn't explode, but for some reason, which I believe is my destiny, and I think it was meant to happen. And I'm not saying it in a very I'm not trying to feel bad about it or feel any kind of grief over it. I'm just saying that it was meant to happen.
Just the sequence of
the
events.
Sequence of events. So this is, so the way I just turned it upside down, and I just hit it, and it turned out to be an exploded hand grenade, which was found a couple of months back. There was an explosion in Bikaner. An ammunition depot had caught fire, and there were these pieces that were scattered around.
So
and
those pieces from the ammunition depot had
that's how
spread
it had
all
landed
over
in
your
the
colony.
in the city, basically.
Oh, okay.
And the third hit, it just exploded. I was sitting something like this, so both my legs, they protected my chest area, so luckily
so
I didn't have any organ damage. So the entire damage was to my hands and to both my legs below the knee, so the legs were completely crushed at the moment.
Gosh.
and I lost my hands immediately. It was 1:15 with 10 seconds in the afternoon, because the clock in my room stopped because of that sound, the explosion. It just stopped at that moment.
So when that explosion happened, what happened next? Your parents were not in the room with you. They were entertaining their guests.
Yeah.
So what did they think? And
I
what
think
did they do?
what my father, everyone assumed that maybe it was the TV or the fridge. I was told that I was found, there was smoke, there was the smell of, burnt flesh and blood all over. So I was found amidst all that, and I think I blacked out for a second, but then I immediately got so. Both my main nerves, my hands and legs, they were cut, right? So I lost sensation. I was numb. My body was numb. I couldn't feel anything. It was like I was floating. I couldn't feel my body. So the good thing is I didn't feel the pain. My father and his friend, they carried me out of the room, and when they got outside the living room, that's when they noticed my hands, and my mom screamed that meri beti ke haath chale gaye. She said that my daughter's hands, she lost her hands. And that's when I found out, because I was not really looking. I was just focused on who was lifting me in the front. While on the way to the hospital, I noticed that my left leg, it was upside down, dangling from my ankle, and no one really was looking at my legs,
They
because
just
everyone was just looking at
on
the
your
two bones
hands.
on my hands. So I was the one who told them, uncle, mere पैर को पकड़ो, वो गिर रहा है. So I told them my leg is falling, and that's when they noticed the damage to my legs, and then the rest is history. Then the hospital, and then
Gosh. So when you saw that you had lost your hands, I mean, they were completely blown off, correct?
yeah.
Did you have a reaction, like an emotional reaction, or was just too much happening where you couldn't even comprehend?
There was this one moment where I apologized to my mom, because she was crying, and she was holding me, and my sister was next to me, and I apologized to my mom. I told her, I'm sorry for putting you through this. And you know how it's in the movies, like your life, like your whole life, your childhood, you take a trip down the memory lane. I also had some kind of that, everything that had happened to me kind of just came, every flashes of my past came. Everyone was talking about how I may not survive, and I could hear everything, and I could see everything, and I could talk to people. It's just that my body was numb, so I didn't realize the pain. And I could hear that, she may not survive tonight, and everyone said that it's just up to God. It's a miracle. If she survives, it's going to be a miracle.
And it took you 4 days to actually feel the pain?
Yes, so
after
they were going to amputate my left leg, so I was taken to Jaipur for further treatment, and they took me into the hospital there, and I was taken in an ambulance. And I think when we reached Jaipur, when they opened my legs, that's when I think pain hit me, and I don't have any words for that. I think when the pain hit me, when the sensation all over my body came back, I think I just wanted to die at that moment. The blast, that noise in my ear, that key one noise that comes, that was just still ringing, so I couldn't. It was just very, very scary when everything started hitting me.
Right. But Malvika, even with the pain, I think you said that the first time you cried was not because of the pain.
Yes, that's the I think that was in that incident happened in Jaipur, that when I was taken from the room, the dressing room, to my room for the first time. That's when I saw other people outside of my family, and everyone made faces, women, older women, and they made they pointed at me, and they like, hi bechari ladki, and they passed such comments. And because till then no one had said that, no one in my family, none of my friends, my parents, my family friends, no one really looked at me in that angle,
In the sympathetic
with a
way.
sympathetic way. Everyone was just focusing on how to fix her, how to get her better, how to make her feel better.
Sure.
And then suddenly there are these people who are looking at me, who are staring, and then who are pitying me. And that's when I realized that is really something wrong with me, because I was not felt that way till for the last 4 days, and now suddenly someone is talking like that. And they use the word apahaj, handicapped, in Hindi. I didn't even know the meaning of the word, and I asked my mom, what does that mean? And that's when it hit me that I am apahiz, I am handicapped, and I didn't want to accept that, but everyone was saying that about me, and
Right.
I think that's when my heart broke for the first time, that I am actually labeled for, I actually have a label, something that I didn't want, but now, there are people who are going to look at me like that.
Tell us about your ride after 18 months of surgery and treatment. They released you from the hospital. Tell us about that ride back home. What was going through your head when you were driving back to go home?
I was still not walking. My legs were healing, but I was not walking, and my hands were bandaged, and there was no more blood, or there was no more probably surgery to be done for the time being. And to be back home, I wouldn't say I was very excited, because I think my mom and we both didn't really like that house anymore after that. It had a lot of scary memories, but we didn't feel bad, or we didn't think of it that way. But I think I didn't go to school, so I stopped going to school, and then my life was just about lying in the bed continuously for days and days and days
Even
together.
after you got
Even
home.
after I had gone home. I think an episode really taught us, when we were trying to shut down people, that you don't have to, because there's really nothing wrong with your life. I think that's when things started looking brighter, when we both decided that we are going to find ways, and we are going to go to Chennai. My grandparents stayed in Chennai at the time, so my mom will have the support of her family and her sister. Everyone was there.
Right.
And they said that there'll be hospitals they'll be able to make me walk again, because till then walking was still a question.
Yes, so many challenges ahead.
And it was a very positive atmosphere from then, when we
You
decided
to change the whole attitude.
yeah, take it into our hands, and we wanted to move forward. We just didn't want to look back into anything. And just, I think then the surgeries for my legs started, and the doctors, they did a lot of carpentry work. They took bone from my mother, from my legs, and they did a lot of very, I think the surgery went for almost 13-14 hours, but they were able to fix both my legs. And 5 months from then, I took my first step, which was something I was going to lose my... First they said I wouldn't survive, and then they said that they were going to amputate my legs, and then to be told that you will be able to take your first step. It's like I was reborn. So with my mother's support, I literally started everything, walking again, learning to eat by myself again, and everything, I think, was just like how you are a child.
Malvika, you took your first step after all your surgeries, and like you said before the break, you didn't know if you were even going to survive, if you would even have your legs, and then you took your first steps. And then you did something even really incredible. Tell us about the board exams that you decided to take and why you decided to take them.
I missed school for about a year and a half that I was hospitalized, and my friends, when I was in Chennai, my friends back home in Bikaner were preparing for their board exams, 10th standard, and I think 4 months were left. And I was very sad, because at that time I was taking a couple of steps, and I was getting back to who I was again. Not that I could do anything I would pursue, because all my hobbies included running around, dancing, and not sitting or not lying down.
Right.
So, and even with the use of my hands, crafting. So I think I couldn't pursue any of my hobbies or anything that I was ever good at. There was an opportunity to give your exams privately, but the result they came, and I think it was a surreal moment.
You topped that exam.
So I got a 483.
Wow. And what does that mean? Tell us what that score means.
It was I had 100 in math and science. And
100.
100
perfect
on 100.
Score.
Yeah, perfect. So when we were looking at the result, we were waiting for the marks to, we kept refreshing that, where is our marks, where are the marks, and it took us a while to realize that it is 100.
Oh my God.
And I topped in Hindi as well. I got a 97. So my percentage, I think, was 97 something percentage. I think it was just too much. It was it was like a dream come true. In the next day, I woke up to my face in the national newspapers.
Wow. And the president of India, right?
At that Dr. Abdul Kalam, he was the president at that time, and he read my story in the newspaper, and he invited me to meet him at Rashtrapati Bhavan. So life from then, it was just crazy. I'm giving interviews, I'm talking to people, I'm deciding what to wear for what interview.
So
it
celebrity.
it was no more about being at home and shying away from people. It was going out there and sharing my story, and then the opportunity to meet the president. My mother and my father, they accompanied me, and we walked the red carpet, and we were meeting and sitting in front of the president, and that moment was my
was it a turning point?
It was the turning point of my life. I thought that something terrible happened, but then something so amazing happened to make up for it, and I wouldn't want to ever go back to feel bad for myself or ever give up. There is just no reason absolutely to give up after this. So from then, joining regular schools, going to Delhi to study in St. Stephen's, one of the best institutions in economics.
And you worked with kids with disabilities, right?
Yes, so that was in my master's, when I did my master's in social work. And I think that is another turning point, I would say, in my life, because studying social work, it changed my... I think that's when I realized that I have a voice, and I have experienced I think talking about these issues, talking about disability, talking about inclusion, talking about the discriminatory attitude, that is something I have experienced in person, I've experienced firsthand, and I think I'm going to be a voice. I'm going to share my story in more platforms.
We always say on this show, grab your keys to Kismet and seize your destiny. I feel like that's exactly what you did. You seized your own destiny, and you decided how you wanted to drive your future. And you weren't going to focus on the negatives, but you turned it into something so amazing. And you have done so much and are doing so much. I mean, you are a PhD scholar, TED Talks you've done, motivational speaking. Tell us, you even walked the runway because you were always into fashion, I know. So what are some of the things that you're doing now?
I gave my first public speech. That was my first TEDx talk, and I think that was something I went out and I shared my story to people who had never, I think it was the first time I went out and talked to people about the pain I went through and the stigma I went through, but also the welcoming attitude that I received at school, in my work, in my college, and I received a standing ovation for that talk. And I think that gave me a lot of confidence to be a speaker, to be able to inspire people.
Malvika, if someone offered, or if it was possible for you to get your hands back, would you want them back?
No.
I've read that you've said no, and why?
I think I'm more grateful with the life that I'm living now, and I appreciate life better. I appreciate people around me better. I'm grateful for the opportunities that I received after my accident to be able to inspire everyone and to be hope for someone. And when I am able to give that hope, I get hope back in return.
Any message for our young viewers out there based on your experience? I mean, you were very young when this incident happened, and your journey, even till now, was at a very young age. Any inspiration, any message to our young viewers?
There is this quote that I often, I read about this a few years back, and it says the only disability in life is a bad attitude. And I think that really goes with my life story, because if I had a negative attitude, if I took this accident and if I kept blaming someone for it, if I kept blaming myself for it, that why did I do it, and if I kept I think we tend to dig this hole for us, and we put up all our negative emotions and all the things that we think we cannot do, our fears, our challenges, and then it's comfortable to sit there and not wanting to climb out of it. And I did climb out of it. It was not easy. It was not a one-person job. It was a teamwork. My
Right.
family, my friends, my doctors, everyone, I think my teachers, everyone who has been a part of my life.
And now, Malvika, after meeting you, I know why so many people draw inspiration from you, because you have literally lit up this room with your energy and your attitude. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today, because you have not only inspired me, but I know you'll inspire all our viewers out there. Malvika is actually fueled from the many emails and messages she receives from around the world, from people from all walks of life who look to her for inspiration, because she really proves that the sky's the limit. You just have to believe in yourself and make things happen.